Okay. Hello, everybody. We are back for the second episode of the new year. Right here, the Smoking Tingz podcast at the Smoking Tingz shop. Right here, 1705 North Capitol Street, Northeast DC. Make sure to come check us out for all your adult goodies, cannabis, juices, edibles, mushrooms, all that. But without further ado, we're gonna get this show on the road right now. You know who I am, Ebou Taal. I'm Black, I'm African, I'm a Virgo, as always. And we're gonna skip our guests right now and go to my left.
Jane Doe, if you nasty.
Ew. Special guest host today.
Hey y'all, I'm excited to be here. C speaks.
More estrogen in the room.
Yes,
y'all been asking for it.
Double trouble, right?
Yes.
Media correspondent, C speaks. I'm super excited to be here.
There
Thank
we
you
go.
for having me.
We love it.
Yes. Love the energy. And it's your boy Eddie B, man. E.B. Holla at me. Y'all know we back for another one.
Yes, sir. And without further ado, our guest today is my number one, my friend. He's doing a lot of things. I'm gonna let him go with books and seminars and relationship therapy. My man Bashe Paul Williams. I know him as Paul. I don't call him Bashe. Never have in my life. So I'm gonna call him Paul. So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself with all the letters and everything associated with you.
So I know I'm a therapist, but today I'm not providing therapy, so I'm chilling today.
There you go.
So
yeah.
I want to make that disclaimer so nobody come from my license report. I'm hanging out with my homeboys and some good people. So yeah, but I do relationships. I do TV seminars. I got some tours going on, some books. My lovely wife is here. We have When Love Aligns is a relationship ministry, we call it. We try to minister folks to, get this black love back on track.
Yes. Absolutely. And the first book that kicked all of this off for real for you.
Yeah, first book, Dear Future Wife, A Man's Guide, A Woman's Reference to Healthy Relationships. So I started Dear Future Wife.
Yeah. When did that book come out? What year was that?
That book came out in 2018.
18? That was it?
Yeah, but I was writing Dear Future Wife back in 2000.
Okay, because I was going to say, it seemed like 2010 to me.
Yeah, that was probably the blog.
Hold on, what's the name of the book again?
Dear Future Wife, A Man's Guide, and Woman's Reference to Healthy Relationships.
Okay.
A man being intentional, refreshing. Carry on.
So, again, Paul is a good, long-time friend of mine. Just some background with us. Known Paul since we were in middle school. We lived in adjacent neighborhoods, so we would all.
You lived in a rich part. I lived in a hood. He lived in a
that's very true. But I had to.
That's the story. Yeah. Okay.
And then we used the community center and basketball court was in between our neighborhoods. So, and I used to have to go there anyway to get some good bump because there wasn't nobody playing in my neighborhood. So I was over there. Went to the playground one day, met up with him and my other homeboy Johan. Shout out to Johan. Made toast. Moco. And we started balling together. You were at St. John's at the time, or you already transferred to Montrose?
No, I was at St. John's in 10th grade. Then I went to Montrose.
Paul was a baller. For real.
Montrose Christian, 11th and 12th grade.
Yeah. And so, we've been friends ever since. He went to college at Eastern Tennessee, came back, was doing his thing. I started promoting. We started promoting together, did parties together in Bethesda. Did all that. And then he started concentrating more on his, therapy lane and getting his degrees and all that. So that's the background between us. And now he's him and I'm me. And now we're back here together.
Yeah. Good to see you, bro.
So, so you just gave the whole spiel. So when did you jump into the relationship therapy lane? When did you define this what you wanted to do? This was going on.
So I guess it started before I actually went into the field. We had a social worker used to come to the neighborhood. We're in the hood, so we had somebody used to come and help us out. We was, some of the bad kids or whatever. So I was always in the back of my hood on. He used to always pull me to the front and make me speak in front of everybody and support. So I was kind of fell in love with it like that. But once I got to college, dealing with relationships and stuff like that, I want to have a better understanding of relationships. And there wasn't a lot of resources that looked like me. Mm-hmm. So if I was struggling with something, the person who didn't look like me couldn't relate to what I was talking about. Mm-hmm. Like in diminishing my experience in growing up in, low income communities, I'm seeing different things. They minimizing that. So I said, it's not going to help our community if we don't have a person who has experienced that and also looks like it. So, so once I got in undergrad, I took a class. I was like, yeah, this is it. Mm-hmm. But I did some promoting in college. But one of the reasons I had to stop because I had clients showing up to some of our parties and trying to get in. So I was like, this is not going to work. And then that commute back then before Uber from DC to Germantown was not a healthy look.
No.
It was not good.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And like I said, he's 2-3 books in now, and doing what you just did last year with the 5-year anniversary of your practice.
Yeah, 5 years. 5-year anniversary.
That's a major achievement right there. So congrats on that.
Appreciate it.
That was amazing. But you do a lot of stuff with other Black therapists and having a word, like you said, not a lot of, especially in our community. Number one, a lot of people are scared to go to therapy. And number two, people don't look like us and talk like us and can relate to our background. So it's definitely awesome what you're doing. Without further ado, we're going to get into these questions for the group, not just for you. Eddie actually had one in the back. We'll start with that one about, spinning the block, kind of.
Nah, it wasn't a question about spinning the block. Obviously, relation therapist. So, you speak to people going through all types of things in their relationship. So my question, or what me and Ebou was talking about in the back, was why do people continue to deal in a broken cycle relationships if they know what is given? You know what I'm saying?
So we describe that as relationship ambivalence. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's the relationship is good, it's bad. I'm in love. I hate this person. Break up to make up, that cycle. Right. And a lot of times people get comfortable with the discomfort of that relationship. Mm-hmm. So I know what to expect with this person. So getting hurt with a new person is a whole different dynamic. Mm-hmm. So at least I can manage this pain over and over again with this person. And sometimes there's a hope that we can fix it, right? Because they know us, we know them. I know this person's evil. So I can manage that versus knowing a new person's evil.
Damn. The devil.
They were waiting to jump in on this one. I can see him over there.
It's more relatable or comfortable than the devil that you don't know. Right. So I definitely have a question too. Especially you were talking about coming from an impoverished neighborhood, and I made a joke earlier about you being intentional. Your book was speaking to your future wife at the time, which is again so refreshing. But in regards to intentionality, or what do you still see in regards to the value of marriage? We're in such a transactional time. It's
great question. What can you do for me?
What, I'm saying, Like, what value do you see? And my parents have been married forever, so I come from that. However, in a lot of my social settings, I don't see, it's kind of an even kill, but I don't see tangibly. Well, I do have a group of friends. All of them are married. I'm the fun, wild card.
But that don't mean that their relationships are healthy.
No, but I'm just saying they're
just have a ring. That doesn't mean anything else.
Okay, so let's breathe.
Yep.
So my question to you, how long have you guys been married? Do you mind me asking?
Oh, we just got married in 2020.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So the value in marriage in today's society, like I always say, would Martin and Gina have made it in 2024, 2023? You know what I mean? Like, what's the value in that union to this day, at this time, in real time?
I want to go back to what you said initially, then I'm going to come back to that. So you talk about the intentionality of me writing my book. Mm-hmm. So truth be told, my book came from pain. Mm-hmm. My book came from avoidance, right? I still had these feelings, but I got hurt in college, so I wasn't giving that to another woman or another girl. So I took those words and put them into paper, like journaling. So I journaled my pain, and then I turned it to a book.
Yeah.
So there was really no intention of me actually finding a wife at that particular time. It was me healing and going through my process to prepare to find a wife.
Got it.
But the value of marriage, like we got married late. I got married way late, right? I had this idea that I was going to be married a long time ago, but I wasn't ready. The people I was dating.
Why do you say that's married late, though?
Because we're 40 and I think, no, I got, how old am I? 40. I got married at 42.
You got to
yeah. So once you turn 40, you get fuzzy, right? Like what?
So considering that we got married at 40 something and 50, right? So we got married late. Ideally, what it looks like in society, people get married early. What I know I wanted was a partner. I knew that the person that I wanted to marry was going to take me to another level, as well as I'm going to take them to another level. So it's a lot of struggle out here when we're by ourselves. The value of marriage is partnership. We don't go through these things alone. We can build what everybody's talking about. It's just going about it wrong. Everybody's talking about like, I want a power partner. I want to be, create this thing. I want to go on an island with this person, but you want that person to be permanent. You don't want to go on a trip and y'all fussing on the trip and y'all go home and y'all break up.
Child.
Right. That's what they
got the t-shirt. Don't want it again.
So, and that's big right now, because in relationships, like, what are we in them for? Like, are we married because we like this person? Like, do I like them or can I just deal with them because of the things they doing? So we go back to that. And, I just think for me personally, now at this stage, I'm just more intentional on how, I'm dealing with, somebody. And I'm telling them straight up what it is and where we going from here. And if we align, we align. But if not, then cool. Let's not waste each other's time. Everything's still, copacetic. But, that's just, how I see that. Yeah.
Rent high. Okay.
For sure.
Rent high. They talking about all this good chin change.
Yeah. But the rent high, but you just gonna be in a spot with somebody you don't like just because?
Yes.
I know that's going on. But still, like, we gotta get past.
I would just be. That's something that you see a lot of people. You spoke to that. You alluded to that earlier when you were saying that.
I'm not alluding. It is a fact.
No,
it is. There are a lot of thriving married couples that are doing well and actually like each other, contrary to popular belief. That's true. But there are a lot of people that you kind of look up because you're trying to fit those societal boxes. Like you said, like, I got married late. However, this is your person. You found your person. If you got to do it all over again, I'm sure it makes sense as to why the gap was that way.
Right.
So,
absolutely. Because if we would have met earlier, we wouldn't have made it.
For sure.
Like, we wouldn't have made it.
That's what I was about to ask.
And it was a couple of years prior to that, we were actually supposed to meet on Love Connection when they did the reboot.
Shut up.
I got casted to be one of the dudes.
Shut up.
I got casted to be the lady.
Wow.
That's so cool.
We both declined it.
What?
Wow.
I was like, that's not my brand. I'm not I will host it, but I'm not to be one of the dudes that pick me, And then she said something happened and she didn't choose to be on there. So if we'd have met that time, it probably would have been chaos.
Got it.
You said when love aligns, right?
Yeah.
And timing is everything. And that's one thing that when we talked about it here on the show before, but we have these conversations all the time because we're all obviously getting older by the day. But
who said I'm getting older?
Some of us are tapping 40. Some of us are tap dancing in 40. People ask me all the time why I'm not married yet, and I was engaged at one time. Paul knows that, and like I say the same thing. If me and that person had gotten married, would not be together today. Probably would hate each other.
But you don't know that though.
No, I do.
I don't think they would have.
You
probably would have scaled back from a lot of stuff.
No, I would not have.
You don't know.
That's why I'm saying I know me and who I was then. I was 29 years old. Okay, and I know me
so
then.
You just know.
And I know me at 33, and I know me at 35, and all of that. It wouldn't have lasted.
But I just know it. At some point, they were fit, and you proposed. So the scary part about life and relationships, to me, I know this is not billable hours, but I'm gonna get my tea off. It's like you may know, like, life is crazy because it's seasonal. So in this season, we may or may not work, but it's like choosing. Am I going to stick it out to this person because we'll arrive at a season where we're both adjacent? Like, It don't always give fairy tale sunset and unicorns, but is that realistic? Like, how do you know at what way are you gauging if this is something that I should stick out in the long run? Because nobody's going to be perfect, right? But you can go from proposing to someone to being like, that would have never worked. And it's like, damn, what the hell clicked? But I guess timing or just life's events, it's just like a draw. I don't know. Yeah.
I think when he said it, he knew where he was at a particular time. Like, I proposed to my son's mother a long time ago, and it wasn't because we loved each other. It's because I had a son on the way. So the reason wasn't based in our connection, was based in, I have this idea that I want my son growing up in separate households.
Yeah.
So the mistake was made, right, to have a child before even getting to know each other and having a solid relationship and get married. And I tried to fix that, and I worked backwards.
Got it.
But I recognized this was going to be more toxic and unhealthy for our son to see us together.
Yeah.
So you can make that decision as you mature, as you grow, you find out who you are, and then they find out who they are. It's a constant growth.
Yeah.
Right. So relationships are constantly growing. They're either growing together or growing apart.
Do you think there's a certain pathology to like marriage? Like if you grew up in a household with parents that are married, like they say, if you come from a family where everybody went to college, you're more susceptible to go to college. Do you feel like that with marriage? Like, do people feel like it's not tangible if it's something that they weren't exposed to growing up, or, you know what I mean? Or is it kind of not necessarily that?
Yeah. I mean, there's evidence of something like we have influence on my parents, right? But your parents can be married and be unhealthy, right? They can be married and living in two separate rooms.
Right.
And that child grows up and say, I don't want that.
Right.
So now they're dealing with trying to avoid that as opposed to really understanding why that's happening. And so maybe they we talk about attachment styles. I don't want to get too clinical, but maybe they feel like they want to create a relationship that doesn't look like their parents, right? And so they have this insecure attachment where they just grab on to somebody else because they never got the attention that they needed. They never got the example. So now they want to prove to their family what a real relationship looks like, what a real marriage.
Them attachment styles is spanking a lot of people because
I'll be thinking about that with men, and that the men never saw their mother happy. Mm-hmm. They never seen their mother in a healthy relationship. So I look at that like, wow, if you never saw your mother love another man, how can you, like, as a man, healthy relationships, have those with women and love them because you never even knew what that was supposed to look like?
Yeah. To you, love is survival. And it's like, so now you find me and all I asked for was an oyster and a hug and we fighting every time. I don't
every damn day.
Yeah. I mean, I think we see that a lot in our communities. Like, we definitely see that a lot in our communities where, like, people, like, are clearly, and it might, I don't know if it's, I don't want to say, like, more so in the hood or whatever, but there's people that should just clearly not be together. Yes. They might have a baby or two. And it's like, they argue all the time. They have their little good times every once in a while that you might see it. But they are yelling and cursing at each other 24/7. It's like, why? Like, I don't understand. Like, why these? Some stuff that don't make sense. Like, I don't want to be miserable. Yeah. With the person that I think I'm supposed to be with. Absolutely. You know, of course there's ups and downs, but damn it, there's supposed to be more ups than downs. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, life is life and life be lifing. So we're going to have our situations, but I just never understand when people just stay together just to be together. Like you said, you propose to your son's mother for the sake of, you know, your son and being in a house together, but then that could have turned toxic and he just would have seen y'all going back and forth XYZ. So I think people get stuck in that kind of cycle. Or just like, for me, it was like, I thought it was time for me to get married. We were the perfect couple. Everybody loved us. And I was almost 30. So I was in that thinking. I was like, man, and we were together for like 4 years at the time. So I was like, okay, yeah, it's time. The check box. But checking the boxes, but not really checking the boxes here. Like, am I really ready for this? You know what I mean? I was just going through the motion. And, you know, it obviously didn't work out. But yeah, I think we all get stuck in these modes or boxes and think that, and what society may say that we're supposed to do, you know what I mean? And, you know, I think, you know, I love, you know, y'all two getting together and, you know, doing it the way you did. You know, it just looked and felt with y'all that it was like just natural and it happened how it should. Y'all look like you enjoy being around each other like your friends. And then you got married. And now I'm married to my best friend. Right. And I mean, from the outside looking in, and I know, Tara, I obviously know you a lot, but I can just see that in, you know, you're posting, and you're not posting to show, oh, we're the perfect couple and nothing like that. It's just, this is what we're doing right now. And
And we talk about real stuff too. We talk about how we get into disconnects We talk about how to recover.
She said,
we talk about all that. We don't sugarcoat it. I've never been inauthentic in person or behind doors, so I'm going to be who I am, period. And she's the same way. And how we met working together. Mm-hmm. So we established that relationship.
Now y'all say, relationship people say, you shouldn't be kicking with nobody you working with.
No, she worked for me.
Yeah. Cleared. She said, well, that worked out for me. I can't speak for anyone else.
No, but that's literally, we were supposed to be on this panel talk about relationships. And I was looking for a brand manager, and she was a brand manager, and she said something on the panel that kind of stood up. Mm-hmm. And initially, I just kind of waved her off. I was like, well, I'm going to reach out to you. And she reached out to me for work purposes. She was trying to holler at me.
We might need to get a mic over here. Wait, we have an extra mic?
Nah, it was on LinkedIn. She reached out to see if I
see your LinkedIn DM.
Yeah,
what was the profile picture?
Yeah, that's when you know.
That's next level, right there.
When they coming in the LinkedIn DM.
So she was like, you asked on a business card, are you looking to hire me? So I was like, yeah. And I still was kind of slow with it because I didn't trust people with my brand because of previous experiences.
I feel like you asked me about her.
Maybe.
I think you sent me her profile on
I probably asked
Facebook.
Everybody. Is she real?
I was like, yeah, that's what
Because people used to literally say, I can help you. And then once they find out I was in a relationship or whatever, or I reject them, then all types of stuff.
Sabotage shit. Yeah.
So we worked together for a while, and it wasn't until people, our close homegirl was like, you should look more than what she's doing. Like, look at her, because she might be the one for you. I was like, nah, I ain't trying to mess up this money. Mm-hmm. And she was the same way, but we had a conversation. We started to explore it, and then everything just made sense. Everything got aligned.
It's okay.
Yeah. Love it for y'all.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Hope.
And you can for everybody out, you can wait. You don't have to, all the younger people. You don't have to be married when you're 29 or 30 or 35.
23. They be thinking they gotta be married at 21 years old.
I'm just, from my point of view, that is a big mistake.
Yeah, you just gotta let it flow, man.
Yeah.
You just gotta let it, man, organically happen, man.
No, for sure.
It's a stigma behind that time clock. They think, oh, you're over 30 as a female. You don't hear your clock just ticking and ticking. I don't wake up and wash my ass and think about a ticking in my ear. When you said about marrying late, I don't think there's a such thing as marrying late. Our parents were together for 10 plus years before they even decided to marry. I was already born. They already had a house together, all these things. So I grew up a little differently where my parents were together. I saw plenty of married people, but they didn't get married until way later on in life. She basically told them shit or get off the pot. But with that being said, the whole thought process of you having to get married, we need to date for a year and then we get married. We have to get rid of that. Because you can date somebody for a year, 2 years, get married to them and hate them. Mm-hmm. So love comes to you in different forms and fashions, whatever, but who's to say I'm not going to meet my husband when I'm 75?
Well, piggybacking on that, I think George or Eddie sent me this clip, and I just want to play it, and then we can.
That's not what I do. I have my own daughter.
It's about 45-year-old women being on a clearance rack.
Y'all really need to have conversations with your moms, aunties, mentors, okay? For women over 40, y'all, this dating.
I started going.
They trying to go at their heads.
Your moms, your aunties, someone around you should be mentoring you to get married. That's not what I do. I have my own daughters. One is married. One's going to be married soon. So y'all really need to have conversations with your moms, aunties, mentors. Okay. For women over 40, y'all, this dating landscape is different. No one is really talking to us about how different the dating landscape is. I went through it at 43, married at 44, maybe I was 42, 44, I don't know. But I'm 45 now, and I'm doing my best to help y'all understand it's limited, okay? You want a clearance rack, okay? You got to pick the best. We're manager special. It's not what it was in your 20s. It's not what it was in your 30s. And some of y'all over 50 that I meet and really still think y'all got options. You're so independent and set in your ways, you blame it on the men. But it's you, sis. It's you.
So that was the basic. That was the basic gist.
She was just getting in her bag.
That was the basic gist of it. I'm just gonna go around. What are y'all thoughts on what she just said about women being of a certain age?
I'm still processing.
Man, that's heavy.
That is a lot to process. I think that there is a level of realistic that needs to come into play when dating for both men and women. And what she was saying in regards to age, I also think just as you climb different ladders, so age is one ladder, but as far as money or status or things, these things that we're boxed into, as women, you would think that your pool would expand. However, it shrinks. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the reality of it. When we talk about clocks, like, you don't have to be on a clock, but there is a biological clock that is happening regardless. So depending on what your, what success looks like to you, some things we do have to adhere to, in regards to that. And that's just the honest truth. I think it's a two-way street. She made a really solid point about pointing the finger. It's very easy to point the finger at men. And there's this tone online that is so lazy. And I feel like we would be so much better if we just eradicated that because we're better together. But this war, gender war.
We're going to get to that.
That is it's not beneficial to us when we both need one another. So she makes solid points. I could go on, but was it triggering? I mean, it is what it is. As a woman, I'm being 100 about it.
No, that's good.
I'm saying that was deep. That was heavy. It's truth in that what she was saying, but like we've been saying all show, it's about when your timing is right. So if you holding out and you waiting for the right one, then that's just how life gonna happen for you.
But it's associated with it.
So I think she was. Go ahead. Now I think she was really speaking to like the younger, like 20-something-year-olds, right? Especially in this generation, not necessarily you or Jane, because you guys were of a different generation. But I think, and we see it on social media. We see it.
Hold on.
I was waiting.
Oh my goodness!
Not in the same generation.
No, it's not y'all two. You two. Y'all are grown. Y'all are grown.
No, he ain't said
y'all are grown. But the women in their 20s now, they are. It seems like from what you see online and what we see outside, that they are mainly looking for dudes that are going to take care of them, have status, have money, going to take them on these crazy dates and fly them out and private jets and all of those things, right?
That's what you think she said?
No. Listen. I'm not done. I'm saying those type of women think that that they can do that for the rest of forever.
Which is why she said, talk to your mom.
Yes, exactly. So those young, they're not even women, they're little girls. Mm-hmm. They think that, I'm going to look like this forever. I'm going to have this body forever. My poom poom is worth $1 million. XYZ. That's great if you think that, but there's a little bit of an expiration date. You know what I mean? Like, you coming around, and at the end of this, she said something like, it's cute when you're young and all that, but as you get older and now you want to get serious, now these dudes that you're trying to get aren't looking at you serious anymore because
and plus they take it or they died off. Like, the pool gets small. That's what she was saying.
You know what me and Jay always talk about? We're already fighting let me get something real quick. We're already fighting pedestrians out here. Okay? The pool I gotta fight is giving boxing match. Okay? You have DC Metro Police, gays, child support, closeted. Like, no, seriously, it's a lot that you're fighting against out here to try to find a solid, sustainable partner. And then to your point, you have all these chat points, but all you bring to the table is what's between your legs. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not realistic. It's not realistic. But it's not realistic.
What I gather is going to be an unpopular opinion. She's talking about hoe culture. So you want a hoe from 18 to 37 and then you turn 41, and now you want to basically delete all your hoism.
You got
and
that?
now that's what I got from it. When she's I got hoism from that because she's saying like, okay, you want to do all these things, get flued out, live life, do whatever, throw your coochie around. And then now when you're in your 40s, now you think, okay, well, it's time to settle down. But you just used up all your good years to be a hoochie.
Okay.
So now that's what I interpreted from it. So then when she was saying like talk to your mentors, meaning like, okay, when you're 21, your big cousin tell you, yeah, girl, I was getting flued out at 25. But then when I turned 35, I couldn't find a husband. Because when I met my husband, I was too busy chasing behind LeBron or whoever to go get flued out wherever, trying to be that girl.
Yeah, the pool just gets smaller though. The pool gets smaller.
And now you spend all your years doing
tighten
that.
up. You listening to your girls instead of going to holler at auntie, or your mom or grandmama or whoever, so you losing out. And then by the time you 40, 45, guys married, the good ones that you should have had, you know what I'm saying? We take it, or.
Or what if they didn't
cross your path?
Hold on, no, let me say this correctly. Or they weren't healed or available until 40.
Like he said.
And that's no shade. Like, I've been in situations like that where, looking back, the man will say, oh, I just wasn't in a place, which is honorable. However, now the time clocks are clashing. Mm-hmm. So what do you do in that situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of a two-way flow. I feel, the table, the pool has spent no cat piss in it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a double standard a little bit too.
Brother Paul back because he can walk us all the way through it. But
just let us know your thoughts, not the clinical thoughts. Just
response that she gave, like was that a trauma? Now the people on the street got we got the words, the weaponized now, narcissists, and stuff like
everything's weaponized.
So, but is that a trauma response of her feeling like, well, I did this and let me show you this, or does that have some validity to it?
I think we all have some validity to it. I think it's too much competition and too many people comparing their experiences with other people's experiences, trying to say that what you're saying isn't real when they literally went through it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? She just laid out what she experienced. Who am I to come and say that's not real?
It's facts.
We have that happening to us all the time. So everything y'all said, even if y'all think y'all didn't agree, y'all agreed.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I see that all the time. People be in the comments saying the same things, but be beefing off of one word or one interpretation, but literally in the same thing. Even when I see couples, I was like, y'all don't realize y'all saying the same thing?
No, you're right.
So that's real. I mean, she said that like 45. I don't know about the whole clearance thing because some people find love at that time.
that might be what they can afford.
But that's what those people love. Yeah. It'll be one thing in a sentence, and then everybody disagrees. Right? So she's right. Like we do need to. Like I wish I had some mentors talking to me early in my career. I would have made different decisions in relationships. But we was throwing parties and having the wrong conversations
outside.
So and people relying on us. We don't know what we talking about.
Right. Exactly.
But look, went through it, get to this point. You know.
So, but I mean, it's good. Like we can have, I have conversations, real conversations with my son. I wish I would have had my father. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think we need to have that. When you have children, have the real conversations. Don't sugarcoat it. Yeah. They can receive it because they're getting it from somebody else. Just like we got it from our homeboys, our homegirls, and it was the wrong information.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, yeah, I wanted to throw that out there and see what everybody's opinion was, but definitely some valid points, and it sounds like we all pretty much agree with it. But everybody has their own version and truth too. Mm-hmm. Paul, you had something that you talked about on one of your reels called. You were talking about the role of a mistress, so I wanted you to get into that a little bit because it was a very interesting topic.
Well, first I said, because again, comics, I get 20 comments a day.
Yeah.
And people misinterpreted what I'm saying.
Right.
And I know they put out there for bait. Shout out to Harley initiated. I said mistress and manstress, so I'm talking to both sides.
Yeah.
There's a door response. Yeah, manstress is essentially.
Is that on clearance?
Let's say it right now. Flash.
If the man's role is the side piece, right? He's doing the same thing that a mistress would do. So what happens is when people step outside of their marriage, they're looking for reprieve sometimes, right? Maybe they don't have the guts or skills to work out the issues, right? Or maybe they've went to their partner and tried to address the issues, but it's not working. So what's been happening, we talk about old relationships, and a lot of this is misconception. I'm going to bring it back, but there's a misconception that those old marriages that lasted long were healthy marriages.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of those marriages stayed together for survival. You're talking about Jim Crow, you talking about what happened in the 60s. There's a lot of different reasons why people stayed together. Yeah. It was survival. So it wasn't as, now we don't have to survive to stay together.
Who said that?
It's true.
You single, right?
Yes, but I need some help. So if I had
help and surviving is different.
Right. In the first. Shut up. Go ahead.
And also there's systems too that we don't really recognize.
I still need help. The hell, somebody in a fur. I want more fur.
Girl, yeah, you didn't give 40 acres and a mule to survive.
Yeah, but so what I was saying essentially is when I work with couples, and I grew up in a household where there was infidelity, right? Argument, somebody leaves and goes away for a while and then comes back. So the role of that mistress was the reprieve, right? It was sustaining the marriage, not in a healthy way, but it gave them, it's almost like when you have a bad day and you got to go to work today. You smoke, you drink, right? I'm going to get this off my mind and I'm going to come back to work. They're going to go cheat and chill with the mistress and then come back. But that's not the healthy way of dealing with it, right? You're sustaining an unhealthy behavior in an unhealthy marriage as opposed to addressing it with a counselor, with a therapist, something else. Or maybe it's sustaining a marriage that you should no longer be. Right. So that was the whole idea of the mistress and the manstress.
Got you. I'm glad you cleared that up.
If people watch the whole YouTube thing, you would see it.
The title get it every time. The title, they run with it immediately. But no, that was violent.
Yeah.
And so you do, yeah, definitely. You do a lot of obviously relationship therapy with Black couples in our community. So from your perspective, without getting too deep into, your clients or anything like that, what do you see are like the most common issues between Black couples in particular?
Cheating.
That's one opinion.
Number one, divorce is finance, though, right?
It's finances, but it's communication. So the underlying issue is communication. If you can't communicate effectively, you're not going to be able to communicate about finances. You're not going to communicate about decisions, about love, about how you feel, right? And so that's the bottom line. And that's a lot of the work is around communication and really understanding what each other needs and what each other wants. There's also a level of unhealthy information that we're getting from the internet. And everybody is taking their problem to the internet and looking for the solution, whether you're posting about it or not. When you hear somebody, the lady talk about her problems in her marriage, right? You say, that's me. Okay, what did she do? Right? Let me read the comments. Okay, this is how I feel. This is what's going on. I'm taking it to my partner. And then now you're arguing about something that's not necessarily your true experience. So we're taking our problems to the wrong people.
I completely agree with that. The communication part is powerful, especially when we live in a day and age of social media. People love to compare what they see other people are doing. So they feel like, oh, well, this couple has been married for 10 years. Why are we not at the same place that they are in their marriage? Oh, this couple, they go to do all these different things with each other. Social media is fake. You post what you want people to see, and you're hiding the bag. You're not on there every day posting the horrible things or the we fussed over because she burnt my toast.
The highlight reel.
Yeah, just simple shit. So I can completely agree with that because communication be all the way off. And that doesn't have anything to do with age. Years old, slow as hell.
Do you think most people are happy in their relationships / marriages now, right now? Like, from your experience, or is it like a transactional thing? Or I got married at this age, we got 3 kids now in a house and a dog. I can't really walk away from that. Like it's because it is hard. Like once you've been with somebody for a certain period of time and you have all of these other things that you're responsible
over.
for, like to, walk away from that and start over and, all of those things. So, how does that look in 2024?
Well, I would say the couples that come to me, so two things. The couples that come to me understand that there's a difference between being happy all the time, which is not realistic, and they're just ready to fix or address the issues they've been struggling with, right? Maybe the individuals come to me and say they feel trapped.
Gotcha.
Right? So if a man comes to me and says, I'm in this marriage, I have all these responsibilities, and I'm not happy, I'm not getting what I need. That necessarily doesn't happen when the couples come together, because one person is looking for the escape and one person is looking for, when the couples, they're looking for how to fix this problem. Realistically, we're not always going to be happy. Me and my wife, we're beefing on the way coming up here. So, and we were talking about how we were going to address a topic, not necessarily beefing, but we were in disconnect because she wanted to talk about something, I want to talk about something else, and we had to figure out how to agree.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference than what we see online. Everybody fixes it. Like I see these reels, and we were doing them for a while. We was doing these reels, the 10 ways you're supposed to, and it was just like, we need to be real because some days we don't like each other. Right. I'm in the basement. She's upstairs, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But nobody's leaving the marriage.
Right.
Yes. And nobody's seeking anybody else to fulfill the happiness. But we're addressing real issues, and we have a therapist.
Nice.
I can't be a therapist.
Right.
I can't be a therapist to my friends or my family.
Right.
I'm not going to be good for y'all. So, and I need a break.
Absolutely.
So that's
you
really
heals the healer.
Yes, but you also get a good amount of clients that are not married yet.
Yeah. I get a lot of clients that are ready to get married, a lot of men come to me and they say they want to change, right? They want to know how to be in relationships. They want to address some of the childhood traumas they didn't realize that were there. They want to address kind of like what's happening today in their finances, business, life, family, and they want to figure that part out before they enter into a relationship.
I might have some clients for you.
Oh, God.
And some who say, you know what, I'm ready to settle down, and I really like this woman, and I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
So they're really doing the work.
Good. Okay, we need to put them on the reels.
Ladies, listen, from a therapist, listen. Now, because a lot, I think, like going again with what you were saying earlier with the gender wars and all that online, which is not real.
That boss.
It does seem like, a lot of these like posts from the women's side. It's like, oh, men aren't doing this, they aren't doing that. There's a whole list of stuff we're not doing and a whole bunch of stuff that we should be doing, and we can't be this way or that way. So it's like, first of all, a big thing for me is like, what are we supposed to do? And not, because we can't be, if we like express our feelings too much, then we're soft. If we don't talk, then we're holding back. So I actually struggle with that personally. Like, I was like, how much where is that like sweet spot? Is there a sweet spot? Does that even make sense? Or am I don't know. I be tripping sometimes. Like, maybe I'm not, I know that I don't share a lot naturally. That's just who I am. I'm a Virgo. My mother's only child, all of those things. But I've learned in relationships to, through what I've been told from my significant others, like, they want to be in your head a lot.
You don't want to open up, pause.
It's just, it's just not a natural thing for me. But then when I do, and I say, oh yeah, me and Eddie were, talking about this in the car and it's like, y'all talk about that stuff? Like, who are we supposed to talk to? Because I can't come talk to you about everything because you're going to think I'm a bitch ass nigga.
Oh, no.
Right? That's true. I'm not talking about, I'm not saying this personally. I'm just saying,
I know
you know what I mean?
And it's so unfortunate. I don't want to intrude, but I will when it's my turn. But.
No, that's that. I mean, where are, like, just with that part of it, where are men supposed to, like, what are we supposed to do? I don't know.
Whatever you feel comfortable doing.
Period.
If that's where you are and a person doesn't accept that, that's not your person.
At all.
Like, you don't have to keep figuring out how you got to show up for another person. If you are your authentic self, they either going to accept you or reject you.
Right.
And being real is really going to clear space for the person that's for you. Like, I got to the point where it's like, I'm going to be myself regardless, behind closed doors, out in the open. I don't care who accepts me. I don't care who likes me. I don't care who dislikes me. That's okay.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've had that conversation where I shared, like, something was bothering me. Oh, you sound kind of soft.
That's
okay.
Crazy,
Well, you don't have access to that no more. So the next time something comes up, wondering why we're not talking.
Right.
Well, what's wrong? Oh, I'm good.
Nothing. No,
I'm good.
Safe space is imploded at that point.
But instead of staying in that relationship, this person can't handle my authentic self.
You need to leave.
So, because I saw that list, it's like somebody was like, don't, I think, eat ice cream, or it was like a whole list. It was like, okay, they was like checking it off, and it was like,
just like she said, it's fake, man. It's a dude over there, like, man, we just went to this restaurant, or we just did that. You know what I'm saying? So, man, the gender war is wild.
Yeah, and I don't know when it started or how it did, but it's definitely
we need to get away from it.
I think it's calming down a little bit now because it's so out there, and there's a lot of people on there. Oh, we need to love each other, men, and that's true. Men need women, and women need men. Period. That is literally what makes the world go round. This just does not happen any other way. Like, so we got to figure out, whether it's in our community or just in general, like, how to speak to each other, how to love each other, and just how to, like we talked about this a lot on the last episode, just being friends and being cool with that. Like, you know what I mean? It's not about what I can do for you, what you can do for me, or what all this transactional stuff. You know what I mean? If we like each other, I'm going to do those things regardless.
We'll figure
you ain't got to say nothing to me.
Figure it out, man.
You know what I mean? If you do say something to me, okay, great, awesome, you deserve it. But if you have to, like, no, you have to do this in order for me to love you or give you my time, that shit is crazy to me.
Yeah, I think also historically men are only rewarded when you guys are doing, like when you are making money or when you're showing up. And so you all are conditioned to be these machines, and machines also glitch out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still got to oil it, whatever the machine is. Ooh, oil. But realistically and seriously, like, contrary to popular demand, there's a lot of women that still value being a man's safe space. That takes a lot of time. And I think you guys have to be lions out in the world. And it's so, especially Black men, like, y'all have, from the moment you zip your coat up and go out the door, like, ladies, you have a man, you need to be praying over that man. Like, it is, y'all have so much on y'all every single day. So when you come home, like, you should be able, you see the meme when a girl unzips and she's like just melted mess, like, you should be able to do that. But that takes time. It takes communication, open communication, safety, right? Not you calling him a bitch the moment that he displays some information to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it takes such work, such empathy, and really grace is one of my favorite words. If you know me, I'm always talking about grace. Like, I'm not saying be a pushover, because not everybody deserves that. Use your discernment. But as far as men and how women need to show up for men, the conversation is always like, what can I get from him? And that's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm just a girl. # I'm just a girl. But at the end of the day, what are you also pouring into that situation and that man? And do you have the tools to do that? Like, I think that's why it's so important. I'm a writer too, but so important with your books and, like, just having tangible tools. Like, you know, these people nowadays, it's cool to be like, oh, I have this. People want to see the proof of the pudding. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of therapists and gurus. You don't have a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't even trust what do you have that I can really utilize day in and day out to be relatable? You know what I mean? Like, I speak about my parents, but to your point, that was, I mean, I'm 32. They were married for that's 32 years ago. We're talking about today in this climate, like, what is realistic? Different. And so it takes a two-way street, but women, you do have to take that time to create that safe space. And who am I? Listen.
But I'm just saying, the social media.
Yeah, it's not real.
It's not real. You can't gauge your life off of social media. Oh, I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to have this. I can't. You know how many men I meet and they be like, well, I can't have a wife yet because I don't have a house, because I don't have this, because I don't have. Well, sir, who said we can't get it together?
Girl,
well, damn. You gotta have all these,
how y'all
all
talk.
these daggone
You
things
said
before you find a wife, which is like
you talked about that. It might have been during the pandemic, because I remember I was on one of your lives, or maybe the when you after you posted it about after you two got married and she wanted you to move into the house that she already had in Brandywine.
How was that?
And that was hard for you.
Y'all trip out over stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Ooh.
So the pressure it doesn't just come from women. It comes from the way we've been brought up.
Right.
Society tells us in general, our fathers, our uncles, whoever tells us, have your stuff together before you enter into a relationship. Right? You got to be able to take care of women. Like, you're not supposed to move into a woman's house. She can kick you out. You know, you got the saying, never buy a man's shoes. Like, all these different things that we hear kind of plant seeds in our heads that cause a greater divide. So me, I had a plan when in 2018, I said in 2020 to my son, once he got to high school, I was going to buy a house.
Okay.
Just started my business. Business was good. I saved up. I was looking at houses and I met my wife. So she had a house, brand new house.
Nice house too.
Come on, wife.
Nice house.
Right? Very nice house.
Oh, wife.
Right. She didn't wait for a man to get a house. Right. So my ego was like, I can't move in there. I remember the story. I remember my dad said, you don't move into a woman's house. Right. So there was a house across the street. A house. This is the ego, right?
So you wanted her to walk across the street, box to box.
The house was bigger.
Box to box.
The house was bigger.
Right. Well, I'm still telling myself.
Absolutely.
I'm telling myself all these things. Like, the house is bigger. We can go get that. I got the money. I'm gonna put down this amount. Like, I'm like, nah, I can't move in there. But I had to sit down and really humble myself and be realistic. And be like, we wouldn't make it if I let my ego make this decision.
Wow.
Right? But it still was a process after I moved in.
To get settled.
I'm buying, I'm redecorating, I'm adding stuff, I'm spending. She was like, yo, you spending too much money. I'm like, what you mean? This ain't too much? You helped me save the amount of money I was going to put down on my house. So now I got money. So where you want to go? We're going to Dubai. We're going to Maldives. We tripping, and I'm still buying whatever we want.
It's the partnership of it all.
Right. But I had to slow down too, because a lot of that spending was my ego.
Yes.
To overcompensate.
Exactly.
For what you lost out on.
Right. What I thought
you
should
thought.
be.
So
but you didn't lose nothing.
It made it better. But look, listen.
So you knew that was your ego, or that was just you? Like, I'm this what I would be doing with my lady anyway. But so how you know it was your ego over me, this being me? Because if I'm in that situation and I decided I'm gonna move in and we got this money to the side, like, that's what we gonna do. We gonna invest something together so we can build, and then we gonna travel a little bit. So it's just me. It ain't an ego.
Who does it benefit, I guess?
Right. So when I'm talking about my particular situation or thought process it was excessive.
Yeah, okay.
It was, I'm on Amazon every night. I'm on, what's the other, Wayfair? Yeah. Like, boxes coming in. Oh no, we gonna get this painted. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. And it wasn't a gradual process. I tried to get everything done.
2 days.
Within, the wedding, I paid for cash. That's fine. Right. But everything after that, like, it was a whole bunch of stuff, packages coming in. And I was doing it. I was literally posting. I was like, I'm making this. I forgot what the theme was, but you would see a whole bunch of different stuff being built, a whole bunch of stuff.
I remember all of those steps.
Yeah. This was new too. So
did you already have furniture in your house?
Very limited. It was just me. My daughter had left to go to college.
So okay.
It was just like, I always say, when we got married, he made my house our home.
Oh,
gotcha.
Because he brought so much life. He got the basement finished. He got the patio in the back. He furnished, he decorated, he painted. I would just, live in the bedroom, the kitchen. It was just me.
Yeah. So it really didn't matter. So then at that point, once you came in, it was really like you were making it both of y'all space.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the good.
But then, I think one thing that we talked about and I really did is I put him on a deed.
Yeah.
And I think, I wanted him there. Not just because he was doing all the furnishing and all that. It was like, he deserves that.
Yeah.
We're in this together. We're married.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I love that.
That's major.
I love that.
That's a big difference.
And again, it goes back to it being a partnership.
Yeah.
Right.
If you have this and I don't have that, but I have this that can fill up the void, that's what it's supposed to be about, right?
Yeah, right,
it's not about, sometimes, in a perfect situation, we buy the house together, or I bought it, and baby, this is our house, yada. But, again, if you, at a certain age, like, people are already established in certain ways, in certain things. So I already got a house. Come on. Okay. It's not all the way for whatever. Okay. Come on. But slow down.
Right.
But, yeah.
I think also I could imagine as more seasoned, or even as you just mature, like you really start to look around and say, who even created these rules? Like, it's my marriage, my life, our experience. Like, who is to say that this should happen here, this should happen here? Like, we're going to create our own narrative. And those are the marriages that thrive, that I see, that people are like, look, we're rock stars. We're doing it how we want. We good. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. There's no blueprint to this thing, but we are yoked. Yeah. And with that, you can sustain anything. That right there, I think, is super powerful. Like, before I was even paying attention when y'all walked in, my parents are like this. I always say, like, you could tell they're married, even if you don't know them. I really wasn't paying all attention, but even the way y'all just like coexist, you could just tell there's a certain synergy there. You can't buy that. And I don't know y'all from Adam. I'm just meeting y'all for the first time, but that energy is I feel like that is what sustains relationships. And who the hell am I? But I'm just saying from what I've seen.
Absolutely. You were on point. And this is what I tell couples all the time, because a lot of times people try to compare their relationship. And that's where they get lost. You give yourself permission to create the marriage that works for you.
Yeah.
Like, we get so much information, even from our parents. Sometimes our parents give us the wrong information. Like, your parents should not be dictating how your marriage works.
Right.
Like, yes, you can mentor and get some guidance, but not everything that they give us works.
Yeah, and the older you get, you look like, ooh, I kind of don't think I'm going to do that. Love y'all, but I don't know if I'm going to do that, or I would definitely implement this, or X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
Give me some quotes, man. Give me some quotes and let me form my own,
That's
just give me the quotes, man. Give me the quotes. That's it. Then I'll figure it out when we go.
The Phil Huxtable moment.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, man.
Yeah,
we don't make it too difficult, man.
And do we? I believe in marriage. I believe in love. I love love, and all those things. I think it is extremely hard, or harder now than it's ever been, I think, in the history of modern history.
Yeah.
Because of all of the things we've talked about. So, you being, recently married and, in it, and having the, being a therapist, working with your wife still, you guys are together probably like 24/7 almost. So obviously you like being in it, but, I guess what sustains you guys, or healthy marriages that you see?
Our foundation, God. We rely on God. So we pray together. We have a therapist. We have fun together. We have the difficult conversations together. We don't avoid the difficult conversations. Yeah. We hold ourselves accountable, right? I think that's what happens a lot online. That's why there's a lot of pointed fingers, because nobody wants to hold themselves accountable. And everybody's trying to blame everybody else. If we were to really look at ourselves and really do the work on ourselves, we'll show up better for each other.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We have an individual therapist and we have a couples therapist. Wow. So that we started once we got exclusive. I think I asked her to go to therapy. Right. Wow. I said, can we go to school? I said, let's get a therapist.
So did you ask her to be your girlfriend?
So she said she wasn't a girlfriend or something like that. She's like, she was like, oh no, I'm not a girlfriend.
We need all the input
you my old lady. Like, I ain't know, this is my lady friend. Like, I ain't know. You know what I'm saying?
So that's a lady friend.
Right. Is you wake up and it's bacon and eggs.
Listen, that's a good question, because, man, I've been in a few situations, relationships that just happened. Like, you wouldn't even know.
How did you just wake up in it? You don't remember when it happened?
No, you get to kicking it with somebody, and then it becomes, just regular.
Comfortability.
But what is regular?
Like you meet them, you get to finding out, we like the same things. We enjoying each other's time. We ain't really doing too much.
That gives pet dog. I want to know.
That gives building the organic friendship or organic partnership. That's what that gives.
But banging.
Nah, I'm saying it gives whatever it's given.
But at what
energy,
point
like you said,
did you become exclusive?
It all works together. I'm saying most times it wasn't like a conversation.
See exactly what I'm saying.
This is a major point that
that's what I was saying.
Because you're still not answering the question. My point is, at what point did he ask her to be his girlfriend? You're saying exactly what proves my point, that people are not asking someone to be in a relationship.
And that's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say. That's how shit happened for me. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was saying.
Mm-hmm. So when I've been in those situations where you're not clear on how things are operating, and then you fight because you didn't really have the clear conversation. Mm-hmm. So when we first dated, I said, what would it like to date you? So we had that conversation. Once we started dating, she asked me, are we being exclusive or we're seeing other people? Mm-hmm. I said, no, we're still seeing other people until we get to the point where we're ready to get there. So we're building, right? Mm-hmm. And then when I specifically asked her, let's be exclusive, that's when we had that conversation and we worked out what exclusivity to us looks like.
Okay.
So we had clear conversations along the way. Mm-hmm. So it was no game, no figuring out, and it was one night when we were both dating other people and I felt uncomfortable around anybody else except for her. Mm-hmm. And then when I found out she would date somebody else, I was like, wait a minute, we got it.
Chest was getting a little tight. This is now my next question, right? Okay, because I'm trying to get somewhere. Y'all gotta wait. I'm trying to get there. Okay, so then at that point that you found out she was dating other people, did that make you want to be exclusive even more?
No, that just made me, not be exclusive even more. That made me realize that I'm just passing time with everybody. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to be with her, period. So when I'm asking that question, I already had in my mind that I wanted to be exclusive with her. I just didn't know she had enough time because I thought I was capitalizing on the time.
Ego again.
Right.
Did that?
It is.
Wifey agreed.
And it's like, all right, so you still have time for other people. We spent a lot of time together. So I didn't sleep that night. I was just like, do I want to continue this cycle?
Yeah. So that's when you knew you wanted to be with her because you couldn't sleep.
No, I knew I wanted to be with her. I knew I wanted to be with her.
Toxic J.
No, I'm gonna tell you.
Because you want okay.
I'm gonna tell you when. Again, when I started to feel literally anxious around any other woman that I was around, there was something saying that this is not where I'm supposed to be, and I felt at home when I was around her.
Yes.
So I couldn't ignore that. You pray for something, you got to believe what's presented to you.
Until you do right by me.
Okay. Literally.
That's beautiful and refreshing. I love that.
It is.
And you honored it. You weren't just like, I'm out here.
Right.
You was like, let me go ahead and go home. I love that.
All jokes aside.
And you chose. You weren't settling. You were. She doesn't.
Communication. Bottom line. Like you said, communication.
All the situationship stuff. We keep making up new webs.
Clear lines, man. Clear.
Like, you need to know, yes, are we together? No, are we not? And then not feeling rushed into it just because you think she giving up coochie to somebody else. Yeah, but I actually really care for you, and I want your time and my time to be merged together. Now you spending your time with Jim, Paul, Andrew,
all 12 disciples.
And boom, it's like, okay, now I want to be with you. Yeah. Because I've heard that before, like, oh, I decided to say we were together because I just didn't want you spending time with other people. That shouldn't just be enough. It should just be because you really are.
That sounds crazy, though.
Yes, and you all also have worked together, so you were spending time regardless. I know a lot of us, and I mean, it's 2024, a lot of folks are entrepreneurs or have unconventional, non-conventional work schedules, so you're juggling that plus life, plus dating, and it can be heavy. And I asked this earlier, I don't know if we were kind of going to different topics. What's the value of marriage today in 2024?
It's individualized, right? What do you want in partnership? Mm-hmm. Like, I think the value of marriage is tied to your belief system.
Yeah.
Like, my value of marriage is tied to my purpose, right? It's my purpose partner. We can build together. We're impacting people that see us.
Yes.
Like, I wouldn't have the same story if I wasn't married.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Wow. I wouldn't be here today talking how I'm talking. I'd be talking about something else.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, how does that serve, and how do we serve each other? Right. And we continue to pour into each other, and that's so important. So there's value. I think it's really tied to where you see your purpose, what you want to do, and what you want to give. And I think we don't really pay attention to how much we want to give.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that stood out to me about my wife is she used to have these declarations that she talked about serving and giving to her man, elevating her man. Right. And that's what I do all day.
Yeah.
Like if I know you, I got you.
Yeah.
Right. And to experience that authentically without somebody throwing it in your face.
Yes.
I was like, oh, this is
that's what I meant about that safe space at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like little things like this is so throwback, but like making a plate. Do not make my man's plate around me. I don't care if it's your grandmammy, your stepmammy, whoever. That is like such like kingdom time. You know, little things that you can implement to, you know, you're able-bodied and you're such the big dog, which, you know, men are babies for real. Y'all just want to be babied.
We do. Yes.
You know,
we do sometimes.
And you deserve to be, but stuff like that, just things. And that's such that I love the declaration. Like my love language, the number one is word of affirmation. So I even do that to myself, like the declarations to yourself, but then somebody doing that to you, like that's godly. I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. There's still hope out here.
Yeah.
I know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Gotta believe.
It's again, in the spaces that I'm in, when I see singles, in therapy, just different events and stuff like that, and just people randomly, I want to change my life. I want to get into a relationship. Like I'm tired of all these unhealthy cycles that you talked about earlier. I just want different, right? I want to have, I want to be my Barack. I want to be my
Coretta.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's out there. I mean, there's definitely hope. There's definitely encouragement. People are doing the work on both sides. A lot of people don't get highlighted though. A lot of people who are healthy and doing the right thing aren't highlighted. We like the toxicity. We like the unhealthy stuff. We like the debate online. We're constantly triggered online. So people stay in the triggered brace space all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I better stay out of there. I see where that's going. That's going left every day.
Oh, wow.
You know.
Nah, but I mean that's most of the questions we've had. I definitely want to thank you for taking your time. I know you're a busy dude with the family and the business and everything like that. I'm chasing you down a little bit. But thank you for making time. Bashe Paul Williams, When Love Aligns, my dear future wife. There's another one that you just did. You posted.
Yeah, we're doing a Stronger Together tour. It's for couples. We'll be in DC February 17th, and it's a game night.
Where's it?
I don't know how the address.
Okay, but it's here. It'll be in the same. Okay. I was like, I'll ask my. She knows.
Ask her. She got all the information.
But we're doing fun things. It's like couples activities. It's like 2 years worth of therapy.
Wow.
In 2 hours.
I'm coming to that.
That's my birthday.
I'm gonna send my parents. They go on date night.
Yeah, that's my birthday weekend. So you know.
It is 2020.
I'm gonna say what
Yeah. So once again, thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, thank you. You did great. Thank you.
C Speaks, SIE Speaks. Thank you guys so much.
And give them your Instagram again, Paul.
Yeah, it's Bashe Williams, so BASHEA Williams. And When Love Aligns on Instagram as well.
And where can they purchase your books?
On Amazon. I don't have any.
Well, the way you've been tearing up Amazon, I don't know if we can log on.
So, last words, communication, love. Again, let's be friends with our people.
That's our problem now, friends.
Let me say this. I want to say this. So a study just came out that 82% of the information that's passed around on the internet about mental health is wrong.
It all was a lie.
So please
it all puts you in a mental health.
No, that's true. Now, that is true.
State. Please
that's why I will go to any space and speak real, because there's a lot of misinformation around mental health and relationships, and we're just absorbing all the wrong information.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you see there's therapists and people that look like us, talk like us, you know, they're your next door neighbors. It's not always some guy with that, you know, doesn't look and or sounds a certain way. It's like, you know, there are people out there that really know what they're talking about. Paul is one of them. He has other colleagues that if he doesn't fit, that he'll send you to. So, you know, definitely reach out again. Bashir Williams on Instagram. You can DM him.
Appreciate you coming.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Every day a new day, new things, do things like my life a movie. Hey. Every day new day, move things, do things like my life a movie. Hey. Every day a new day, new things, do things like my life a movie. Hey. Every day new day, move things, do things like my life a movie. Hey. Pull up in a big man range, straight to the stage, make a big man play.